Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. That's my bad. We've been busy, which is why we haven't been able to upload any videos as regularly as we wanted to. You know, we've had it's about 4 months since I uploaded the last video, but you know, we've been having Christmas. Obviously, takes a fair amount of time. Holidays. We've still been farming crickets in between then, but just haven't had a lot of time to make videos because we've also had harvest, like our dryland farm. And then we've also been trying to put this new facility. So if you've been paying attention to the social media, like Instagram and Facebook, you would have seen we've had a bit of a disaster with our new facility, but it's fine. Like, we'll be able to pick up. It's only a minor disaster. It's not that bad. But anyway, we're going to be uploading some more videos more regularly. I've got a whole list here on my phone about all the videos I want to make, just because it just feels like there's an endless amount of videos with farming crickets, and you know, it's just going to be such a big industry moving forward that you've just got so many topics, and it's just also like there's so many trial and error little things that we can do with crickets too. So that's what we're going to be talking about today too, is we're going to be showing you the new bin setup and the thoughts behind it. It might add benefit to your cricket farm. I'm not sure. It all just depends on a bunch of factors, but we'll explain that in the video as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Just quickly before we go and talk about the new bins, this is going to be our new facility behind us. You would have seen on social media that, yeah, we've got the shed up. We've obviously got the concrete down, which is lovely. And then over a couple weekends ago, we started to put together the actual cool room paneling. So this is the walls just here, as you can see. Sorry about the wind too. It's a bit of a windy day here. I'll try and protect the mic a little bit. But yeah, we've got like the cool room paneling just over there. And we started setting up this whole facility just here. And then we actually had a bit of an unexpected breeze come through. You know, we didn't check the weather, we probably should have. And then we ended up having about 60 to 70k winds roll through, and it knocked it over. So I'll, what I'll do is I'll show you a little bit of footage of us putting it up, and then I'll show you a little bit of footage of the actual disaster right now as well. Yeah, so that's obviously super annoying. It is what it is though. You know, you have these little highs and lows with running a small business or just trying to get a business going in the first place. I'm sure most people can understand the frustration when you try to start a small business and something goes wrong like that. But we're moving on to the main part of the video. I'll keep you guys updated about that. And yeah, I'll have a whole new video about setting up that new facility in a minute. But what we need to do is we need to talk about the new soil, or sorry, the new sorry, little cough there. Not COVID though. But what we're going to talk about now is the new bin setup. Now, in the past, I've got a bin just out here for example. You know, we have just some normal dozen egg trays there, and then we've got these 30 tray egg tray set up, and the crickets do enjoy this, right? Like if I was just to pick up this egg tray, these egg trays here, I'll just shake them off, right? And you can see there's plenty of crickets in there, right? They're running around having a great time. Got all the food, all the water in the world, all the safety, everything you need. But what we're finding is we need to be more efficient with our pack-ups. So packing up crickets can be quite time consuming, especially live crickets, because you need to get the right size, you need to weigh them to make sure the customer gets what they paid for. You then have to get all the crickets into the into the boxes. Now, you would have seen on one of the previous videos on the channel, I think it was the last video actually, just like how time consuming the pack-ups can be. And yeah, that's what we're trying to fix. We're just trying to fix, or trying to find new ways to actually do the pack-ups. Now, the only reason why we have those egg cartons, you know, in the bins currently, is because when we set up an actual bin with breeding soils, so these are all the breeding soils that have actually been laid into already, and if you just have a quick look at that, that's all the eggs just there on the side. So these guys are ready to hatch. They'll be hatched in, say, about 5 days time. But you can see that we've got egg trays just down the bottom there. So that's for all the crickets just to be able to run into. And it just makes it a little bit easier. We find there's a thing called carpeting. And carpeting is when you get too many crickets sitting on top of each other and it turns into a bit of a carpet layer of crickets. and they end up suffocating. So by having those egg trays in there when they hatch like this, they actually have a little bit more space and they can run around. And then after they've all hatched, we then take the breeding soils out. We then stand up the egg trays like so, and you can just see all the pinheads and all the crickets just in here, right? But that's great, right? That's great for the crickets living in. It's really, really easy, and if they're the only egg trays that you have access to, then that's also fine. But what we're going to be trying now is some wine racks. So these are the wine racks, and if my camera will focus, I think I'm going to need a torch. Let me just grab my phone. These are what we're trying now. And you can see all the crickets just sitting on the edge, just there. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a presentation of why these are way better, and it's because they're way more efficient for pack up. So let me just show you real quickly. Okay, so what we'd do normally is if we were to pack up a bunch of crickets, we would have to, we'd pull the bin out like so, and we have like a 50-litre tub, and this is just what we use to like catch all the crickets in. So I'd normally just put that tub in here like so, just move these little trays out of the way, and I would pick up just a bunch of egg cartons like this, and obviously all the crickets are kind of falling off, but I'd have to shake all the crickets into the bin just like that. And just off that egg carton, like, don't get me wrong, we get a lot of crickets, right? So these guys are obviously quite small, so there is a lot of crickets in this bin. As you get them older, there's less crickets in there, they start to eat each other and do their thing, right? But you get a lot of crickets, but what you would have noticed is when I just tip it out, let me just put that back in, I'll give you guys a better angle. Probably couldn't see it from the video just then, but these guys are all the crickets that we just tipped into the bin. I tipped it out just in this spot. You see all that frass and you see all that grain and just that waste, right? So when we're packing up crickets, we have to be really, really careful, or not careful, but we just have to be aware of that waste, and it actually affects how much it weighs. So if you have too much frass in there, the customers aren't going to get what they're paid for, because we weigh out all our crickets. So like for example, 2,000 large crickets is 533 grams. So if you have too much frass in there, the customers aren't going to get what they're paid for. So we have to sift through all that frass, which is just time consuming. It's really, really annoying. But with this setup, I'll show you. Alright, so the exact same setup as before. I'd put this big container just in here. Just actually going to move to the other side. Right, I would then grab one of these not egg trays, I'd grab one of these wine racks. I'd then just pick it up, and I just have to dump it all in there with one shake, and I put it back and just have a look at all those crickets, right, that I just pulled off of that one tray. Let me just move back to the other side so you can see properly. Right, there's heaps in there, and if I was to tip it out just on this spot, just here, right, and there was a bit of grain and a little bit of like stuff down there before, but there is pretty much no waste, no frass, no grain, no nothing. It's just a big clean pile of crickets, and there's a lot of them too, like just on that one little tray. So if I was just to, let me grab that one out again. If I was just to show you again, right, this is, let me just shake it off so there's no crickets on here. But just in here, every single one of those layers or sides or sections, or whatever you want to call it, on the wine rack, that all pretty much increases the amount of surface area that you have in the bin. So when we have it set up like this. You know, obviously every single one of the layers or every single one of the egg cards increases the surface area. So this bin would probably actually be bigger or have more space than this bin. We're gonna actually change and we're gonna have to order some special wine racks. We're probably just gonna make the holes a little bit smaller and we're gonna fill the bin probably another layer to about here. Just look at all those crickets run away actually. Just quickly, like that's how efficient they are. There's so many crickets just in this one bin. But yeah, we're gonna get some special wine racks to actually make sure we increase the amount of surface area or the amount of space we have in the bins versus what we're currently doing here, which is just time consuming, messy, and actually probably takes up a little bit longer to pack up, or sorry, a little bit longer to set up too, because you've got to set up every single one of these rather than just dumping in, like you just pick this up, set it up, put it in there, boom, done. Easy. Crickets can start hatching or start, you know, laying into it. Now, the only annoying thing with cardboard is, for example, this here, right? See all the holes in that? And that's because the crickets love to eat the cardboard. You can obviously reduce that by making sure the crickets have heaps of food all the time, but the thing is at the end of the day they just kind of eat it. So what we did also try was these things. Now, probably not the best to have a bunch of holes in it because it's all about surface area and increasing the amount of space you have in the container. But these are plastic and obviously a little bit harder so the crickets wouldn't eat them, but the crickets didn't take to them. They honestly would not sit on them at all. But what we're finding with these wine racks, these things are absolutely incredible for not only space, but pack up time and just also keeping the bins so much tidier because the frass just falls down to the bottom. And yeah, it's the best thing in the world. You should definitely try it if you've got a cricket farm yourself. And it's not new information, like Entimo farms in Canada, they use them and they work quite well. So, you know, we're not claiming this as our idea or anything like that. So, but we're just finding that this does work for our farm and it is definitely something that is worth checking out and trying. So yeah, that is everything for this video. The wine racks, they're incredible for increasing the amount of space you've got in the container. They also, how clean the containers are with how much frass and waste just sits on the egg cartons. Then obviously pack up is super easy and super quick. We don't have to do as much like sifting or like, you know, making sure. So, you know, these are our bins just up here with some holes in it. We put all the crickets in here and then we have to sieve it to make sure we get all the frass out before we put them into our pack up boxes just here. So yeah, that's just pretty much the reason why we're going to try it and or why we have been trying it, and it's been working really, really well. So we're probably going to move the farm in that direction. Now the one thing you do have to be aware of is if you're getting egg cartons, they're much, much cheaper than using the wine racks. So that's one thing you need to consider, is if it actually is worth the investment. But definitely when you get to a bigger scale, you're just looking for more ways to save time. And if you do have to spend a little bit more money to save time for pack up, then it actually makes it worth it. So yeah, that is why we're doing it. And we'll see you guys in the next video, which we're going to be making more content for the cricket farm in the future and hopefully a few more regular uploads. But yeah, anyway, that's everything for this video. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them below and I'll reply to every single one of them. I'll make sure I do every single time. Alrighty, enjoy the rest of your day and we'll see you later. Bye.